Okay. Till now, what we have done, we have seen the two very important packaging material, paper and plastics, and we also have a brief discussion regarding what are the different types of papers and paper boards and plastics that are used in packaging. Today we will see another important packaging material, which is the glass. Okay, so today's class is about glass. So glass, it is not very often used nowadays because we have a lot of usage of plastics, but still glass is very important because there are few areas where glass is still preferred and used, okay, due to some of the reasons. So following the general convention, we will start with what are the advantages and uh, disadvantages of glass in terms of packaging material. Okay, so as it goes as an interactive session, so I would request you to participate. So can we just list down what are the advantages of glass?
Yes, sir. Sir, as earlier discussed, that glass was used for holding chemicals. So that is
Yeah,
an
what for?
advantage
Yeah,
because
no, no. Holding. See, I would like to tell you one thing. Uh, what you are telling it is used for, that is fine. That is the application of glass in packaging. But what is the reason why glass is used? That's what you have to put in advantage and disadvantage. In this section, we are not going to tell about the applications. We are
yes,
concerned
sir. That
about.
is I'm yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that
Please fill.
glass glass is less like glass is more resistive to corrosions.
No, it is not due to that. The reason is glass is inert. Glass is one of the most, maybe the most inert thing used in packaging materials. Among all the things, glass is the inert thing. It does not react with anything. Okay, and that is the reason why the sensitive materials, the especially you will see this glass is majorly used for medicines, in cosmetic industries, in liquor industries, where you have a alcoholic content or maybe the content or which is very reactive in the sense, okay, or you may be using spirit and all this kind of things. So that is why glass is used basically, or maybe the things like you will see honey, or maybe there are some other food grades like jam, jelly in these cases, or maybe this thing, what you called achar, that thing, pickles. Okay, in that cases also you will see glass is used majorly. Why? The major reason is because if say for example this pickles or jam or jelly, they are basically having lot of enzymes and other good bacteria inside them. Okay, say for example in jam and all, you may be using yeast and this kind of things, and many of the cases in medicines we have some living material inside. Okay, for its reaction. Say for example, if you have some antibiotic syrup kind of things, so these things need to be protected very well in terms of their chemical properties. Okay, so to retain their chemical properties, we need a material which itself is not going to react with that particular material. So that is why in majorly in medicinal and in food, you will see that glass is used as a packaging material. Okay. Okay, any other advantage of glass? Hello.
Glass is known for us.
Very good. Glass is non-porous, and non-porous in the sense like, uh, if you know that glass is you can say plastic is also non-porous, but if you take about afterwards, we will see that there is something called migration. Migration means if you have a layer, this is your external environment, and this is your internal environment. Okay. Now this is the wall in between, which is the packaging material. Okay. So ideally, what is been expected that from the external environment, nothing should go in, and the same way from the internal environment, nothing should go out. Okay, so this means going in and going out. This transmission process is called migration. Okay, this migration plays a very important role. Okay, many of the times you will see, although glass is so inert, but we means when you buy say raw fish or raw chicken, mutton, raw food things, if you see, okay, you will see we don't use glass there. Okay, generally we use a kind of plastic. Now, because means for retention of their property, a bit of this migration need to be allowed. Okay, so in those cases we cannot use glass. Okay, but glass, because of its solid structures, solid in the sense it cannot have any pores inside. Okay, so that is why it is very advantageous in most of the cases. Say for example, if you want to use some spirit container, or if you want to have some things, say for example your like something like your fragrances, this fragrances, like those things are put on the cloths and you will see it keep on um, এটা আস্তে আস্তে কি হয়, এটা ইভাপোরেট করে, তাই তো? সো দিস ইভাপোরেশন নিড টু বি স্টপড, and for stopping those kind of evaporation, some very evaporating kind of materials, glass is always preferred. And you will also see, if you have some expensive this fragrances, generally what we call ator, ঠিক আছে? তোমরা কেউ আতরের শিশি দেখেছো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
আচ্ছা, আতরের শিশির একটা কি স্পেশালিটি থাকে বলতো, আদার দ্যান দ্য কমন সেন্ট আমরা যেটাকে বলি বা পারফিউমস যেটাকে বলি, তার সঙ্গে আতরের শিশির একটা বেসিক ডিফারেন্স থাকে, কি বলতো?
স্যার সব সময় গ্লাসের মেটেরিয়াল রাখা হয়?
হ্যাঁ, মেটেরিয়ালটা তো হয়, আর একটাও ইম্পর্টেন্ট দেখবে যে ইটস
স্যার ওই
ক্লোজ।
পাল্পটা যেটা থাকে মুখে যেটা থাকে ওইটা মানে
Exactly. The closer is also made of glass. Okay, because those things, those fragrances are so delicate that it can react with a metal closer or plastic closer. At the same point of time, it should be totally airtight packed, means there should not be any kind of leakage or anything. Now if you have a plastic bottle or a plastic container, then glass you generally cannot have a leakage type of chances. If it is there, you may have cracks, and if it is cracking, your entire glass bottle may break down. But small leakage, that is not possible actually. Okay, so that is one most important advantage, as Priyanka very correctly said, that it is non-porous, and it is really non-porous. It cannot have any pores inside it due to its solid structure. Okay, any other advantage?
স্যার হাইলি রিসাইক্লেবল।
Yeah, very well said. It is sorry, it is highly recyclable, as well as it is having a very high degree of reusability also. তোমরা দেখবে যে when you buy a glass container, generally after we use the product inside it for which we have bought it, afterwards also we clean it and we use it for a very long time, right? So because of its inertness, like it can be used for very long time, even means in your labs and all these places you might have seen that, means someone who has studied in a bit old schools, they uh, might have found that there are some chemical containers which are very maybe 50, 60, even 100 years old, but it is still in the same place if you keep it clean and all these things, because it is not going to get destroyed by natural way. Okay, So that is one important thing, and it is reusable. তোমরা দেখবে যে whenever we see the people who collect these glass containers, say for example, most of the times you will see this like milk container, or maybe your cold drink container, in some cases liquors and all these things, they buy the glass bottles, and don't think that they are getting recycled. It's not that, they are actually reused. That's why you will see most of the cases in plastic and glass bottles, one bottle is actually exactly fitting with another bottles without any problem, because they are made such a way that they have a universal uh, means the universal construction, so that every time you don't need to recycle that, you can reuse that. But obviously in an industrial level, reusing, before you reuse it, there is a very big cleaning, and make the bottle ready to reuse. You have a very big reusing cycle actually, that involves cleaning, that involves sanitizing. In the cases you are having some very sensitive materials and all, they need to be, all the labels need to be removed from them, again those labels will be put. So these things are there, but the container itself is very much reusable. Okay. Okay, what's next? Any other advantages, can you tell me, of glass as packaging material? Okay, one important advantage is its transparency. Okay, that is important, like transparency, and it is having varying, I will write, it is having varying extent. Varying extent in the sense, glass is such a material, you can have it totally transparent, and you can have it opaque as well. Okay, I'm just showing you one example. One sec, just. Okay, can you see this bottle, this one homeopathic oshud jake bole, a very small one? Can you see this?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, and it is a transparent glass. Okay, this is a transparent glass. So can you tell me what is the advantage of its transparency?
How much medicine it is having,
Very
we
well
can
said.
see it.
Very well said. Yeah, we can actually measure that how much is left over there. Okay, and in some cases, say for example, you may find if you buy some packed peas and all this kind of things, in some cases the maize and corn, you will see that they are actually suspended in a liquid. Those liquid is used to make it fresh, and from the outside of the bottles you can see that how much is actually there. If it is totally opaque, you will see that half of the bottle is already over. So that may be avoided if you have a transparent bottle. But at the same point of time, I'm giving you another example of this. So this bottle, if you see, this is also a glass bottle. Is it totally transparent?
So it is translucent.
Yeah, it is. You can say it is partly transparent and partly opaque. Why is so? It is Any idea why it is not totally transparent? Okay. The one major reason of make it a bit opaque is to protect it from sunlight, because there are many chemicals which can have an adverse effect when it gets subjected to sunlight. Okay, to protect it from different sources that come from the sunlight. Say for example, you know that sunlight composed of different rays which may cause problem to different materials. Okay, so to protect it from that, at the same point of time, the same way as Shagorika told very correctly, that you also need to see that how much is left. So it is having a degree of both transparency as well as opaqueness. Okay, so these are some of the major advantages of glass, but glass is having lot of disadvantage also. What are those? And you can also write one thing, considering its reusability, that it is also a bit inexpensive. Okay, because the same glass you can use the glass container many of the times, but again, like you also need to have reusable, to make it reusable, what we call refilling process. Okay, considering reusability, so you have to also keep in mind that this refilling means, you know, like your gas cylinders, you don't throw it after using, but you have to go for a refilling. So you have to keep it in mind that refilling may be expensive.
So for advantage, can we say that it can take very difficult shapes also?
Actually speaking, like very difficult shape in general, means we don't find, because glass is having basically a limitation in terms of its versatility. But obviously, if you think of some very exclusive things, say for example, you are having some, you know, like some very expensive perfume from Paris, which is made an limited edition. So there it may be possible to make a glass bottle which, where the bottle itself is causing a very high amount. Okay, so there you can do, because on those cases, those are blown by human. Okay, those are human blown custom made bottles, but that is not a very good example of its versatility, considering the uh, you know, the fast moving consumer good, the FMCG, what is our major concern in this topic. But if you take very exclusive one, say you want you are considering a very renowned boutique and they are having a very expensive perfume, there it can be, because maybe 5 bottles they are producing, where each bottle is costing 10,000, 15,000. So there they can afford 1,000 rupees for the bottle itself. But considering an FMCG, you know, or a general medicinal application, then we cannot say glass is very versatile. Do you see lot of shapes in glass? Do you see lot of shapes? I'm not talking about design, I'm talking about shape. Actually, glass is having only two shapes technically. One is bottle, one is jar. Do you know what is the difference between bottle and jar? গ্লাস বটলস অ্যান্ড গ্লাস জার, যেটাকে বাংলায় একটাকে বলে বোতল আর একটাকে বলে বয়াম. Do you know what is the technical difference between bottle and jar?
Sir, size of their openings.
Yeah, but after that also there is another difference. So let me try to draw one bottle. This is what the bottle is, okay, and this is what the jar is. What is the difference you are finding there? any visible difference you are finding? Okay. Uh, this part is basically this one is generally not present in case of jars. This is called neck of the bottle. Neck of the bottle. Neckless bottles are technically called jars. It can be small, it can be big, but if it does not have any neck, then it's called a jar. Okay. So this is the technical difference between bottle and jar, but application wise, as I think Nishant told, Nishant wise, the jars are used where you need a bigger opening. Okay, say for example, you in case of jam or jar, jam or jelly or pickles, you will say normally we put a spoon inside and we bring it down. And sometimes not only spoon, we may put a part of our hand, maybe fingers inside. So in those cases, you need to have a bigger opening. Or say for example, the best example is if you think about the containers used by the roadside tea stalls. Okay, there you will see that they have all the cakes, the biscuits in very big round jars. Okay, those are not bottles, those are jars because it is having a big opening. Okay, they can just put their hand inside and they can bring out whatever you want. Okay, so that is the thing. So what are the major disadvantages? We will come back to that.
Sir, it is difficult to transport.
Yeah, because it is fragile. Used. It is fragile. Okay. So it should be handled with lot of cares. Okay, otherwise, it means it can cause lot of problems. Okay, it can also cause some kind of wound or cut, or means it can cause health hazards. Okay. Anything else? So it is having a actually a low shock resistance. Okay. Uh, it is a very important thing, especially if you are importing, exporting some glass container from one place to another place. Say, for example, you are having a very expensive medicine which is coming from abroad, okay, by the air. Okay, so now the thing is, like, when it travels in air by plane and all these things, what happens basically, the air pressure fluctuates a lot, and inside the container also you have a ambient pressure. So if this pressure fluctuates a lot, that can cause a shock, and this shock many of the times it can cause the breakage of the seal of a glass container, especially in case of medicine. Okay, say for example, there are some vaccines which may be coming from from a different place by air. So if it is coming by air, it means the aircraft can have lot of jerks, and all these things can happen. So that can also cause breakage of seal, breakage of container, and that's why you may see that many of the times when something is getting traveled in air, you may get a symbol like this which says that it is fragile. Okay, so this symbol is for fragile, and that should be taken very consciously. You have to take lot of care when you are transporting them. So it is having a very low shock resistance, and it can be means disposal wise also there can be an issue, because you can't just throw the glass containers anywhere, because afterwards it can you know Okay, so this can be disposal wise also you can have a problem, since like you can't just throw the glass containers anywhere. So disadvantages with glass bottles or glass containers. Okay, another important disadvantage is its heavy weight. Generally, glass containers are heavy in terms of their weight. And another important thing is very low printability, and that's why you will see in most of the cases the glass container is not printed, rather the paper labels are uh, paper labels are put onto it. Okay, so the printing of glass is a very big issue. There are processes for glass printing, but if you consider mass processing, like mass production, in those cases the commonly used impact printing processes are not very much suitable on glass. Okay, so printability is also one big issue of glass. So more or less these are the advantages and disadvantages of glass. Next we will go that what are the different types of glasses those are used. Just one sec. Okay, so our next topic is what are the different types of glasses. So the basic glass what we use is the transparent white glass, which is also called flint. Okay, and this flint or the means general what we call the white glass. Okay, that is the mostly used thing. And as you know that the basic material from which glass is made is silica, right? So generally glass is having around more than 70% of silica. Okay, and the silica is actually obtained from pure sand. Okay, apart from silica there are different things like we have lime, we have soda, which is basically oxides of sodium and calcium. Okay, and we also have alumina over there. And apart from this thing there are different materials like magnesia, potash, all these things are there. So the fundamental material is silica. Okay, and apart from that we also use lime, which is basically oxide of calcium, and we also have the soda. Okay, which is the oxides of sodium. Okay, so since we use this lime and soda with silica, this particular glass is also called soda lime glass. Okay, so this is mostly used, and as I already told that apart from this we have different impurities over there. Okay, like this magnesium, manganese. Okay, all these impurities are there, but these impurities are very small percentage. The major percentage is this one, which is about 70 to 75%. Okay, then the soda lime, these things also take around rest of the 20%, 20 to 22%. Okay, this too. And rest of the things are some of the impurities and other materials over there. Potash is there, manganese is there, magnesium is there. But how these impurities are put, since they are needed a very small quantity, they are not actually added individually. Whenever glass is produced, what is basically done, some of the already used glasses are mixed into that in a very small quantity. Okay, so when the new glass is made using these materials, a portion of already made glass is used into that. That's called cullet. Okay, that's called cullet. That the already used glass, a portion is used, that is called cullet. This cullet is basically mixed to these things so that you get these small impurities which contains this manganese, magnesium, this kind of things. And depending on the quality of glass, your the amount of this cullet changes. If you want to have a very expensive glass which will have very low amount of impurity, then you will have a small amount of cullet over there. But cullet is basically required to create that, because when you are making glass or a glass container, you must have a a semi solid kind of formation, and that is called the transmission uh, temperature. Like before the glass comes to that semi solid thing, there it should not be totally a liquid kind of thing. Okay, then you cannot form it. It must have a semi solid kind of, and in between state, state you must have, so that you can form it. So it depends on what is the amount of or what is the quality of the glass you want to produce, and accordingly you can decide the amount of cullet. Okay, but as I already told that we have different colors of glass, so depending on the color of glass, you need to add different materials over there. Say for example, you can use the different oxides of iron and chromium to have a bit greenish color. Okay, so don't worry, I will give you a handout of that, so you don't have to write or remember, just listen to it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. So if you want to have a very dark green color, then you can add some chromium oxide and iron oxide to it. If you want to have some amber, that is a brownish color, what I have shown you, then we can use the oxides of iron over there. Okay, and also if you want to have some blue kind of appearance, then you can use the the cobalt and this kind of stuff over there. Depending on what is your color requirement, you can choose the different additives. These are called the additives which you can use. So after composition, we will now quickly see that what is the we can say the anatomy of a glass bottle. That although we very commonly see the glass bottle, but it is having a structural anatomy that we need to know a bit. So just one sec, I will just show you that. Let me yeah. Can you see this picture? It may be a bit small, but I hope it is visible. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so this is what is the anatomy of a glass bottle. You can see that is the different portions are there in this glass bottle. So this portion, this part where you have this one, this is the place where the cap actually set with the bottle, and there are two types of thing. You can have threads. Oh, Okay, you can have threads like this, that is a continuous thing. And in some cases you may see that you don't have a continuous thing. It generally happens with jars where you don't have a continuous thing. You will see a structure like this. Okay, so this is called screw threads or simply threads, and this is called lugs. Okay. I'll just show you. I have one example with me, so I'll just show you. So I'm taking those same bottles over there. Yeah, can you see this? Yeah, this one I'm taking it very close. Can you see this part? Only see this part, the top part of it. Don't see anything else. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you can see this, this is basically a continuous thing. You know, like if you see, yeah, this part is basically continuous. You see, it is having a continuity over there. Okay, so this is a thread. This is the example of thread. On the other hand, this one, if you see, this is a this is not a continuous thing. If you think of a coffee jar or even if your jam jar, if you see this part, you will see that it is not a continuous thing. It is up to here, then again over here it is. Okay, so this is an example of lugs. This is called lugs. You can see their caps also. You can find in their caps also. Inside the caps, I don't think I can show you over here. This one, inside the cap also, you don't see a continuous thread cut over there. Okay, but in case of this you can see that it is basically there, but I don't think you can see like this. But anyway, you can observe few of the glass container. Even in your plastic containers also you can see that in some cases you will see in some containers you will see you are having a continuous thread, so that is called a screw thread, and in some cases it's not a continuous one, so that is called lugs. Okay, and this part, this starting from this opening to this part, okay, this is called a bid. This one, this is not written over here, this is called a bid. And why this bid is given? To control the flow. Okay, this is a flow controller. Okay, because if you have a continuous, you know, like this one, the water or whatever liquid, it will come very smoothly. But suppose you have a bead inside like this, then what will happen? It will get a problem over here, and you will have a flow control mechanism over here. Okay, so that's why this bead is given. Then comes this part, starting from this finish to the neck. This part is called the neck, and in jars we don't have this neck actually. Okay, and under neck also you can see there are different thing. They have called it a collar, but it is also called bead. Collar, bead are the same thing. And then you have a floor of the neck. This part means where from till which this happens, this is called the floor of the neck. And after floor of the neck till here, this part is called the shoulder of the bottle. Okay, shoulder. And this shoulder, basically there are different types of shoulder which are used. You will see some bottles is having a shoulder like this. Some bottle will have a shoulder very squarish kind like this. Okay, so there are different kind of shoulders used over there. Then this part till this part, it is called the body of the bottle. And from when this body end till the end, this is called the insweep. Insweep. Okay. And some of the bottles, if you see the bottom of it, you will see it is not flat. Okay. See, it is basically not flat. If I put it like this, you will see this part is not flat actually. Okay, it is having a inside curvature. Okay, it is having a shape like this. So this is called the in-sweep. This in-sweep is given for better stability. Okay, it will have a lower surface contact, and whenever you push it, since it is not totally touching the surface, it is having a better possibility to stabilize. Okay, changing its position where from it is getting, the balance is getting out. Okay, so this is called a you know push up. Sometimes this is also called hill. Okay, it is not given over here. It is sometimes also called hill. Okay, so this thing, this is the basic structure of a glass bottle. Okay, so sometimes we also called anatomy of the glass bottles. Now, the size of the shoulder, type of the shoulder, the type of the finish, this may be different, but fundamentally, any odd glass bottle, if you take, it will be having this. The next important thing, the last thing for the day is we will just see a bit about the closer. Okay, how does the close? Not closer. This is the finish of the bottle. The finish of the bottle is most important thing. Like if your finish is not fine, then you cannot attach the closer properly. So that's why the finish is very important thing, and the finish is not made in the same line where the bottle is made. That we will see afterwards when we will see how the glass bottles are manufactured. And in this connection, one thing we missed, that one of the biggest disadvantage of glass is glass can be used only for rigid packaging. You cannot have a flexible packaging using glass, because glass is a very rigid material. Okay, and this is how your finish actually looks like. That is the top part of it. And what is important here, that you have two dimensions over here. Okay, you have one internal diameter, you have one external diameter, and you have a thread diameter. Okay, then you have, like this height is there, this is the height of the finish. And in this case, normally you will see the cases where we use lugs, the finish is much smaller compared to a bottle. Means, say for example, if you see here also, the sorry, considering the diameter of the bottle, it is having a finish of this much size. Okay, but here you see the jar is much bigger, but finish is smaller. Considering its, the height and diameter of the body, the finish size is much smaller when we use the lugs. So that is why in case of jars, majorly we use lugs, not in case of bottles. Okay, so that's all for the day. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Or it's 10:49, so by 10:50, 51, 52 we will stop it. Okay. Okay, it seems you don't have any such doubt now. So I will share the handout in the group, and you will also get the recording soon. So thanks for attending the class, and bye.